All right, let's go across to our reporters now. Siddharth Bhardwaj is joining us live from outside Dr. Manmohan Singh's residence, and Anil Thomas is at AICC headquarters. Siddharth, I'll come to you first. Give us the updates from the late former PM Dr. Manmohan Singh's residence. You said security is tight because the movement will start from his residence soon, and mortal remains of Dr. Singh will be taken to AICC headquarters, and the public and Congress workers will have the opportunity to offer their tributes?
Definitely. A very good morning to you, Abhishek. You're right. The movement will start in a while. From now, I'm outside late former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh's residence, where security is tight because the VVIPs are also coming to his residence. As you can see, I would like to show you, I would like to request my camera person to show you what the actual scene here outside his residence is. You can see the security is absolutely tight. No one is allowed to go after a point. You can see, the security personnel, the different security teams have been deployed, and you can see even media, have been restricted to an extent because of the VVIP movement outside his residence, and the mortal remains of late former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh will be taken to AICC, as you have mentioned, and from there they will be taken to Nigam Bodh Ghat crematorium, where the last rites will be performed. Abhishek, as a matter of fact, Dr. Manmohan Singh, late former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh's, contribution in key economic reforms have been incredible, and he has left an indelible mark in nation's political and economic landscape. Although Abhishek, his passing marks an end of an era, but his contributions and vision will continue to inspire generations to come.
Anil, what are the updates from AICC headquarters? Dr. Singh's mortal remains will be shifted there. People have started coming in?
Mood is pretty somber here, but then you slowly see people, especially behind me, the AICC headquarters where I bring this live visuals from. Clearly, the people are slowly seeping in. They are getting regular updates, especially watching TV channels, so they are very clue to what exactly is happening. And you see the buzz of people slowly coming in, and there is palpable people or number of people waiting outside to get a glimpse of the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I think this particular place, as we stand and speak, is almost jam-packed with media. There is not even he needs to move, especially when it comes to the coverage that the former Prime Minister is getting, and the people slowly seeping in. I wouldn't say we've got a large number of people here, but people slowly seeping in. Once his mortal remains moved from his residence at 3 Motilal Nehru Marg to the AICC headquarters, which is roughly a distance of 3 minutes. We'll get an idea of how the people are, but almost, there is a lot of people waiting outside, still waiting for clearances to enter the AICC headquarters.
Anil, also Dr. Singh's legacy leaves a strong imprint on our economic policies and also several aspects of governance. Are people talking about his politics, his legacy at the Congress office?
Well, you can talk about Dr. Manmohan Singh, especially in the two forms. One, especially the liberation that he brought about and the reforms that he brought about as a Prime Minister, social reforms in particular that matter, that were game-changing during his regime. Second phase that you can talk about is the controversies that he was surrounded with, yet coming out with a clean image. And I think not only India, but also the world, especially when it comes to guiding the world out to the global recession in 2008, Dr. Manmohan Singh as an economist had a great role to play. So if one takes a look at his entire journey and, the role that he's played not only for India, but also for the world, I think he leaves behind a great legacy. And a legacy especially based on Nehruvian politics or Nehruvian principles, that could be not among something that is followed today, even by some in the party, but clearly a footprint that he has left behind where he practiced what he preached. And I think that's a rarity that you find in today's times, especially in the politics that we see today within the Congress. And I think that's something that, is a great legacy that he leaves behind, the great footprint that he leaves behind for people to follow, people to emulate, and for people to learn.
Siddharth, how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has termed Dr. Manmohan Singh as one of the most distinguished leaders, while Rahul Gandhi said that he has lost a mentor and a guide. We are expecting a tight security and traffic management as many leaders will be reaching to attend the last rites of Dr. Manmohan Singh at Nigam Bodh Ghat.
Definitely, Abhishek, we are expecting some strong security measures there, and as is there outside the residence of former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, you can see the VVIP movement is still there, and security is really tight. Several security teams have been deployed, and they have, in fact, restricted the movement of common people. In fact, the journalists have been told not to come beyond a point. And that latest update that we are getting from here, Abhishek, is that the movement will start in a while from now. And as you can see, I'm showing you the visuals of how
all right,
the former Prime Minister
all right,
from here, Abhishek, and we'll update you as and when it happens.
All right, Siddharth, we'll come back to you. But Anil, Dr. Singh was recognized as one of India's greatest economists, like you also mentioned. His contributions were profound and transformative. Do you want to mention about the landmark decisions that were taken under his leadership, specifically when he was the Prime Minister from 2004 to 14?
Well, Abhishek, talking about, that stewardship that he did for 10 years, leading the nation, he was a bureaucrat, if one may put it that way, an administrator who got into the world of politics and was given the responsibility of running the chair, for 10 long years under the two UPA regimes of 2004 and 2009. In the rough world of, tumble and rise politics, he would have been a misfit. But then we got to give full marks to the way he managed to survive those 10 years, irrespective of the controversies that followed, especially during the second term of UPA2, the 2G scam, the 2G4 scam, the CWG, many other scams that followed him. But, one takes a look at the work that he has done in the last 10 years, especially when it comes to social security, food security, land acquisition, Manrega, direct benefit transfer, Aadhaar, you name it, he's done immense work, even when it comes to, the social benefits for the common man. And I think that's what stands out. When one takes a look at 10 years of his journey as Prime Minister, you will have every year that stands out with one significant feature, one significant thing that he has done when it comes to helping the common man. And at the end of, his 10-year regime, when addressing the media or when facing the media, he was asked a question on one mistake or one thing that he couldn't manage to do. He said, the rising cost that affects the common man is something that I fail to, keep in check. And I think that's a great admission of a man who believed and a man who did wonderful things, especially for the common man. And I think, a fact that he admits that in the 10 years as Prime Minister, if he is not able to check something, clearly indicates that, this particular man was just not all about preaching, but it was also delivering. So practice what you preach is something that Manmohan Singh believed. And I think the perfect tribute to him was when Barack Obama said, when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh speaks, the world listens. I think that's a fitting tribute to the man who simplified things, but then always saw light at the end of the day when it comes to doing things that benefit the common man at large.
Anil, also, to take your point further, Dr. Manmohan Singh was celebrated for the initiatives like Right to Information Act that define so much about transparency in India and this country. Narega earlier, then it was changed. Manrega too was brought by Dr. Singh, which proved a game changer also. India-US civil nuclear deal too. You think his passing away is a significant loss to Indian politics and economics?
Well, exactly. The world has lost a great economic guide, if one may put it that way. Even in today's times, even, till the time he was a Rajya Sabha member till April 2024, his insights, his input into even sitting in the opposition benches is significant. His guiding principles and his guiding light when it comes to ideas. With many things that happened post 2014, he was very critical to the point where it could, where at point it would have felt it was brutal. But then, Dr. Singh never minced words, and I think especially you made a mention about the civil nuclear deal. It almost looked impossible, but then he pulled, I would say a rabbit out of the hat, especially when he pulled that off, that civil nuclear deal that happened. And there are many other things, one took about the SEZ, the Special Economic Zones, the Forest Act that was put into place.
Some people want to mind the reforms that he brought about that very quickly. So when one takes a look at, Manmohan Singh as an administrator, the liberalization that he brought about. Look at any paper that you see in the last 2 days. Everyone talks about him being the liberation or the man who led India's liberation. I think that's something that could be very lame if one remembers him in the future for the future generations. He could be a
learn, especially on how to survive in this tumble and rise world of politics.
Siddharth, tributes are being paid to late Dr. Manmohan Singh. How is the distinguished leader being remembered by his family members and admirers particularly?
Well, definitely, Abhishek, as you can see outside his residence, I told you that there's a VVIP movement, and VVIPs are, when they're talking to journalists, they're very, very emotional, and they're saying that India certainly has lost a gem, someone who has left an indelible mark, not just, on the country, but on the entire world. You can see leaders from global leaders, in fact, they're actually expressing grief over the demise of former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And this is exactly what the VVIPs who are coming outside the residence are actually saying. And as per the latest update that we are getting, Abhishek, the movement can start any time now, and you can see the security has tightened even more, because the movement can start any time from now. As you can see, everyone's there, security personnel, the security teams that have been deployed outside the residence. Now, the information that we have is that the movement can start any time from now. This is what the latest update that we are getting in, Abhishek.